name is Stephen Barry, and I'm the proud business manager of IBEW Local Union 223. It is my distinct honor to welcome you all to our building to discuss the continuing future of offshore wind with a report put together by the Climate Jobs National Resource Center. This union, for over 120 years, has represented hundreds of electricians all over southeastern Massachusetts, covering from Brockton all the way to the tip of Cape Cod and Provincetown. We are proud to host today's meeting, bringing together leaders, workers, and advocates from various crafts committed to shaping the future of offshore wind here in Massachusetts and beyond. Our union hall has long been a place where ideas are exchanged, skills are sharpened, and partnerships are built. And today is no exception. As we gather, it's clear that we are at a pivotal moment for our state, our country, and our planet. The offshore wind industry represents not just a path to cleaner energy, but a powerful driver of job creation and economic growth. This work has the potential to transform our communities, providing stable, high-quality union jobs that build a sustainable future for all. The collaboration needed to achieve these goals starts here, with discussions like the one we're having today. Together, we're ensuring that workers remain at the center of this new green economy. And it's partnerships like those we forged with leaders in labor, industry, and government that will guide us as we navigate this exciting chapter. Before we dive into today's speaking segment, I'm excited to let you know that our Director of Apprenticeship and Training, Bob Revelle, will be offering a tour of our state-of-the-art apprenticeship training facility following the program. Bob, if you could just stand up for a moment so everyone can recognize you. Bob will be over here.
Welcome, everyone.
This is where the next generation of highly skilled electricians are trained, including those who have already and those who will in the future work on offshore wind projects. We invite you to see firsthand the dedication, expertise, and passion that goes into preparing our workforce for the future. Just want to point out that all members of the press will be able to meet off to my left for a press scrum after the speaking program. Now, I'd like to take a moment to introduce a true champion of workers and one of the strongest voices in Massachusetts for economic and social justice. As the president of the Massachusetts AFL-CIO, Chrissy Lynch has dedicated her career to fighting for fairness and opportunity for all working people. She has been instrumental in advocating for policies that uplift labor, protect the environment, and promote equity across the Commonwealth. Chrissy's leadership exemplifies the power of solidarity and her unwavering commitment to ensuring that the offshore wind revolution benefits not just the environment, but also the hardworking people who will make it a reality. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Chrissy Lynch, one of organized labor's champions and president of the Massachusetts AFL-CIO.
Thank you, Steve Barry, IBEW 223, for hosting us and for being such a critical part of fighting climate change and growing and diversifying the middle class here in Southeast Mass. As Steve said, my name is Chrissy Lynch. I am so proud and honored to be the president of the Massachusetts AFL-CIO, where we represent over 800 local unions and just under 500,000 members from every sector of the state you can think of. I'm also deeply honored to be the chair of Climate Jobs Massachusetts, which is a space that we created within the labor movement here in Massachusetts to making sure that we are digging in on the issue of climate change to figure out, to come to the table with solutions. Because we need to be intentional in the fight against climate change in order to meet our emissions goals, but also to make sure that our actions benefit workers and the communities where they live. We are faced with enormous opportunities to build clean energy projects that put people to work and support local families. The best example of that in our state is the Vineyard Wind 1 project, which has already put more than 1,000 Massachusetts and Rhode Island residents to work, building this massive infrastructure and the support structures needed to make it run. The proposed projects that are in the works could also put more than 10,000 of our community members to work in the next decade. When they are built under a PLA, a project labor agreement, that means more than 10,000 local families will also realize the benefits of good pay strong benefits like healthcare, retirement plans, and they will be a critical part of the meaningful and vital work of fighting climate change. It also means that there will be benchmarks and particular attention given to employing women and people of color on these projects. Again, making sure that the people who suffer the worst effects of climate change are experiencing the benefits of building these projects. Our highly skilled union workers and apprentices, they take boats and they take helicopters offshore to drive these piles into the ocean floor. They build the turbines in the offshore wind substations. They also build the facilities and the support structures onshore and everything in between. As soon our union workers will also be manufacturing the necessary materials right here in New England, including offshore wind cables, low carbon cement, and we will ensure that those are also jobs that grow and diversify the middle class. This is more than just a few projects. This is an industry. It's an industry that can support families and communities, as well as keeping our earth livable for human life if we do it the right way. And we deeply appreciate that our elected officials here in Massachusetts share the commitment to ensuring that these projects not only help our state fight climate change, but they invest in local communities and the workers that make them run. I want to thank all of the allies from our environmental movement who are here. I want to thank all of the elected officials that are here with us today who agree on the importance of ensuring that green jobs are good jobs. Today we are joined by elected officials and allies from Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island, including Senator Warren's team. We've got our lead sponsor, Senator Feeney, Senator Pacheco. I don't want to start doing names because I'm going to miss people, but we've got a lot of climate and worker champions in this room that we are so proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with. And I'm particularly honored to introduce our next speaker, who's part of an administration that has really been prioritizing putting workers first, making sure that we're getting stakeholders together like labor environmentalists so that we are fighting climate change and growing and diversifying the middle class at the same time. Governor Margaret Healy and Secretary Tepper, you guys have been such important allies to us. I can't thank you enough for your partnership in this space in particular. Thank you for joining us, and Governor Healy, I'm going to give it over to you.
She's such a visionary leader, and I admire her so much. They say imitation is the highest form of flattery, so I chose to dress like Chrissy Lynch. Now, we didn't actually call each other last night, but obviously there's some karma there. It speaks to how synced up we are when it comes to this initiative. So I want to thank you, Chrissy. I want to thank you and the Mass AFL-CIO for all that you have done. You guys are doing something, and great to see UPAD and the Rhode Island AFL-CIO. Love that partnership. Something is happening here that isn't happening yet elsewhere in the country. And I just really appreciate and credit President Lynch's leadership, seizing this opportunity to go out and grow great jobs, and to have this vision where we are pro-union and we are pro-climate, and everyone can win, and this New England region can win. So thank you, Chrissy, for your willingness to take this on, to have the vision, to bring all the partners together. It's really, really powerful. And you know, I know we're not alone here today. We're joined by so many so many wonderful labor leaders represented in this room. I love and appreciate you all and the work that you do. And it also reflects that this space, the work that we're going to do, requires workers from so many different sectors across so many different unions. Now, we're grateful to Steve Barry and appreciate Doug and all that he did. Steve's taken on new leadership here in 223. Thank you for hosting us in this beautiful IBEW hall. And thank you for your partnership as we move through this clean energy transition. We have as well so many folks from Connecticut and Rhode Island. Thank you. This is so exciting. This is like what's possible, you know? And thank you to those I serve with, a fabulous Secretary of Energy and Environmental Affairs, Rebecca Tepper, who built a great team, including our Undersecretary of Apprenticeship, Josh Cutler, who actually works in Labor and Workforce Development, a different secretariat, but this is what I mean about teamwork, right? This isn't siloed work. We've got economic development, working with labor and workforce, working with energy and environmental affairs, right? And so much more. And so I really appreciate everybody for the administration who is here. Josh and the team are busy, you know, out there advocating for, trying to make pathways for more apprenticeships and grow our great pipeline. To Senator Pacheco, longtime climate advocate, and to Senator Feeney, thank you both, my colleagues in the Massachusetts State Legislature, and again, welcome to officials from Rhode Island and Connecticut. Working together is so important, especially in this time. You know, New Englanders, think about California, right? It's the 5th largest GDP, 5th largest economy in the whole world. If we put New England together, right, with New York, we would come close to that. So there's a lot of power in us being able to work together, and that's what today is about. Now, unions built our middle class and this country. They've played especially important roles in times of economic and technological change, when workers need a voice in their future. So unions understand the promise of the clean energy transition. It's about good paying, family-sustaining jobs with access in every community. And we see this promise throughout New England. In New Bedford alone, we've seen transformative growth. You noted Vineyard Wind's historic PLAs with mass building trades, and thank you to Frank Callahan for your leadership. That alone has doubled the union jobs it pledged to create. It's 1,000 families in southeastern Mass who are putting more food on the table, paying more bills, or ability to pay more bills, I should say, because of offshore wind. It is indeed worker-powered offshore wind. Worker-powered offshore wind. That's what's happening. In Somerset, the site of this dirty old coal plant is being transformed into a cable company. That's a key building block of our independence. It is very important that our country, our great country of ours, be energy independent. And that's what we together are going to build as we seek to establish an energy supply chain within our own borders. So we're not relying on oil and gas coming from other shores. In Salem to the north, we just broke ground on a second dedicated offshore wind terminal, also with a historic PLA in place. The old fossil fuel plant is being transformed into a brand new clean energy facility that will serve the surrounding community in meaningful ways. And here's what's cool too. Students at Salem High School and North Shore Community College will have an opportunity to train for these careers, and the workforce will grow. Now, the offshore wind industry has faced its share of setbacks over the years, but make no mistake about it, we continue to make progress. It's happening, and it's going to happen. And you know me, I'm a little competitive. I want us to win on this.
Yeah.
This region, has an ability to do something that no other region in the country has an ability to do, okay? And, you know, I don't know about you, but I don't want global oil politics determining the fate of families in Massachusetts and Rhode Island and Connecticut. We don't want to take care of our own. I also don't want pollution harming our communities, right? And we know what's possible with these new energy sources. Great local jobs, cleaner air, stable energy bills, and a country not beholden to anyone else or any other power. Massachusetts is proud to have led in the development of offshore wind. We made selections earlier this month and we went big because there's really no other way to go. If you're going to do something meaningful, if you're going to have an impact, right? You're going to set a mark, and that's what we did, working together with Rhode Island. Massachusetts selected 2,700 megawatts of offshore wind from 3 major projects: New England Wind 1, South Coast Wind, and Vineyard Wind 2. This is Massachusetts and New England's biggest offshore wind selection to date. We're making sure that the long-term outlook for wind is strong, with stronger industry, continued investment in economic development, and lower electricity rates for our residents. There's more work to be done. There's going to be no transition without transmission. And this is where we need workers, big time. And we need to train more workers, right? And we need to bring more workers in to the unions to be able to do this work. We need a lot more transmission capacity to meet our growing demand, to integrate our cleaner energy resources, and to decarbonize our system. So embrace this. There's an endless amount of work out there to be done that has to be done. The legislature is doing its part this week, thank you, passed and sent to my desk a climate bill. A climate bill that's going to help us upgrade the grid more efficiently. It will help all renewable energy projects get built smarter and faster with union labor and protections for workers. And I'm really looking forward to that. We also know that transmission investment leads to regional and potentially interregional benefits. So we need to continue to work with state and regional partners as we build out our system. And that's why we've been really focused under Secretary Tepper's leadership on how we can collaborate on transmission planning initiatives, working with our neighbors throughout New England on first ever procurement designs to help states both meet our policy goals and move us faster, more quickly, so that we have more energy sources online, greater transmission, and thereby, reducing pollution and also eventually lowering electricity and energy bills for residents and for our businesses. Working together, we've also had tremendous success winning federal funding. Just recently, we secured $389 million for transmission facilities and battery storage. Through our collaboration on interregional transmission, states along the Atlantic coast are working together to leverage offshore wind resources. Now, as governor, my goal remains to make Massachusetts competitive and affordable in a changing economy. Our state is prosperous, our region is prosperous because we've stayed on the cutting edge of freedom, of workers' rights, of manufacturing, of life sciences, and we're going to lead on climate technology. Climate tech covers everything from green fuels and building materials to battery storage to energy efficiency and so much more. And that's why we made climate tech one of the centerpieces of our economic development bill, which thankfully the legislature just sent to my desk for signature as well. This is a $4 billion investment in the future of our economy and our workforce. And it's going to enable us to scale up quickly over the next 10 years. Our new climate tech initiative provides funding to keep these companies here, help them grow here, and make sure workers are well trained and fairly paid. There's a little company called Sublime. It's women-led. It's born out of Cambridge. And it developed a way to make low-carbon cement, which is pretty cool. It started in Somerville. It had investment from our Massachusetts Clean Energy Center, some private funding. And now the state partnership and an $87 million grant from the federal government, it's opening a manufacturing facility in Holyoke to produce cement. And they just received the first $13 million of that grant last week. But here's what's cool about that too. Sublime and United Steelworkers signed an agreement. Sublime and United Steelworkers signed an agreement supporting their employees' right to organize at the Holyoke factory. It's a win-win. This isn't a zero-sum game. You know, not in this space, not with the way this is being done. So that's super exciting. They even signed an MOU to negotiate PLAs with the building trades. Okay, so one of the most innovative, up-and-coming companies, backed by a lot of venture, right? This company, Sublime, working directly with unions to take everybody forward faster. What a great model. And a model that shows that union jobs are climate jobs. We're seeing this transformation around the country, and the American offshore wind supply chain is well on its way. There are more than 500 U.S. manufacturing facilities specializing in wind components, for example, the blades, the towers, the generators, as well as turbine assembly across the country. The first American offshore wind vessels are being built in Louisiana, in Virginia, and Wisconsin. Local communities across the country are benefiting from and relying on these jobs. Now, I know as we look ahead, there's a certain amount of uncertainty with the new administration. But I firmly believe that the fabric of this industry, of this clean energy industry, is strong. You know, we have private corporations, we have research institutions, we have incredible union leadership and unions, and we have our friends in the environmental community who we credit for so much of the advocacy in helping us move forward to this place of a better understanding that we need to act now. We have it in this room, all those players. So we're moving forward. It's about teamwork, it's about partnership. That's how we get things done. And you know, I'll think of you. I get to go to the White House in a couple days because the Celtics are going to get celebrated. We love the Celtics. We love all our sports teams. Drake Bay's looking even better and better. It's very exciting. We'll get there. But, you know, it's just to say it is about teamwork, guys. It is about teamwork. And for all the angst and name-calling and BS that's out there, there's a lot of noise. If we work together, we can really deliver for people. We can lower costs for people, just like I did the first year of my administration. We were the first to cut taxes in over 20 years. We're going to build more housing. We just passed a big housing bill, right? It's going to be more housing around the state to lower costs. And we can do something in terms of showing America, not just the region, but this country, the way forward. Because the race is on. Whoever figures out best how to marry the technologies and where we need to go for clean energy with the workforce is going to win. And we have a special sauce here that nobody else has. So thank you for all that it took to get to this point. I've been around a little bit, and I know 10 years ago, 5 years ago, nobody was in the same room as one another. Right? What an amazing thing. And again, credit to you, President Lynch, for helping convene us all today. Mark my words, we will show them, because we're moving ahead. We'll show them. We'll get this done, and people will be behind it. Thank you all for what you're doing. Thank you all, most importantly, for what you're going to do, and I look forward to the rest of the comments, and I know you've got a great panel. Also, shout out to you, because you're building the pipeline, helping us build the pipeline of workers, right? Honest to God, I want you to know we're all in, and together we're going to get this done. Thank you so much.
so much for those words, Governor Healy. You know, your leadership on this issue has been an inspiration. And I say that as a proud Rhode Islander, to be able to look to our northern neighbors and say, something important has happened here. You know, my name is Patrick Crowley. I'm the president of the Rhode Island AFL-CIO and the co-chair of Climate Jobs Rhode Island. I just want to make sure that I say thank you to Brother Barry and all of the members of IBW that are here today. You know, I was saying to my co-workers when I was driving down this industrial park, I grew up in Marshfield, so I got my organizing career. Began my organizing career in Boston, and I said, I swear to God, I've picketed half of these companies at some point in the past. And sure enough, there's that Pepsi plant that I know I was at a picket plant. And thank you to my sister, President Lynch. Her leadership has been an inspiration to me, to my staff, and to everyone in Rhode Island. And a little known fact, our moms are drinking buddies together. Believe it or not. So I feel like it's home here in Massachusetts for a lot of different reasons, but most importantly, about the work that we're going to be doing in the offshore wind industry. You know, this report, I think, is going to outline a lot of different, specific examples of what we can do together. And you have a chance to take a look at it. Read the foreword. I happen to know the author. But I think what it does, and it gets to the end, why do unions care about this? Why is offshore wind a working class issue? And to me, the answer is very simple. I mean, I look at the history of this region, southeastern New England, Rhode Island in particular, the south coast of Massachusetts. This is a region that has been involved in some of the most important industrial revolutions of this nation's history. And every time there's been a new industrial revolution, the workers are left behind. When you think about the textile industry in my home state of Rhode Island, you think about how within 2 generations, small shops that set up operation off the small rivers in Providence turned into the robber barons who own the mansions around Newport. Those mansions, by the way, that are high enough on the coast so they're never going to get ravaged by rising ocean sides. But the working class neighborhoods of the 5th Ward will be obliterated within 10 years. Or I think about the jewelry industry, with thousands of workers, immigrant workers, places from the Azores, Portugal, Brazil, Central and South America, who were employed for generations in this industry, and when it didn't become profitable enough for outside corporations, they cast them to the side, decimating good, working-class, family-sustaining jobs across the region. This new industry is here, the offshore wind industry. And it's going to be something that if we can pull this off, if we can do it right, intentionally, with working people at the center of the conversation, with our friends in government, with organized labor, leading the way as part of this industrial development, we're going to make sure that instead of what we've done in the past, where workers were exploited, where the environment was taken advantage of, where working class people from all of our region were left behind, we're going to lead the way. And we're going to demonstrate, like Governor Healy just said, to the rest of the country, when you partner with organized labor and our friends in industry, and when you partner with the environmental community, we have the working ability to get this done, we have the brain power to get this done, and we're going to create an entire industry from supply chain to electrons delivered to the grid with union labor. And it's not just about the jobs. It's important. It's very important. But it is about our environment. My kids, your kids, all breathe the same air. My kids and your kids all drink the same water. My kids and your kids' kids are all going to be living on a planet that, unless we take action now, is going to be unsustainable, unlivable. I don't want that on my conscience, and I know you don't either. So it's incumbent upon every single person here to do everything that we can. But we know that we can do it. We've done it before. And it's going to be important for us to do it again. And that's why events like this, leaders like Maura Healy, leaders like Chrissy Lynch are so important to the conversation. Because we've got to make sure that we not only demonstrate that we can do this for the industrial reasons, but for all of the reasons the governor said, because everyone is watching.